Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome back to Anno 1800. Now the last time I played this game I was playing through the single player campaign online, but at the time the game kind of bugged out on me and it wouldn't display cutscenes from the storyline, and I kind of was so disappointed that I just kind of stopped at that moment because I never could get that to work properly again. And instead of going again, I figured today we would start a completely new game in the Sandbox mode. And I want to start that today because, well, just the other day, the final piece of DLC for Anno 1800 was released. Or at least the final DLC in the Season Pass, because apparently they still have even more plans for the future. Anyway. The third DLC is called The Passage, and in it we can travel to the Arctic in search of a lost expedition and enjoy new features like the heating system and airship trade fleets. Now that's quite interesting, but especially the Arctic is going to be very interesting. And of course I have the Season Pass, so we have the Sunken Treasures DLC, we have the Botanical Gardens, and now we have The Passage. Anyway, let's select a new Sandbox game. And we will take less guidance, thank you very much. And now we need to create a new character. Now I have several. One of these I have unlocked through the club, and actually, ooh, this is interesting. We have new ones that we can unlock. DLC, the Inuit Ensemble. Earn more units to unlock this reward. Yeah, I like this character. He looks cool. Oh, wrong button. Anyway, we don't have access to that one, so let's say, because I have a beard in real life, I'm going to pick the captain because he has a cool beard. Or maybe, actually, you know what? Let's go for this guy. He's kind of regal, right? Wait, we skipped the parts. Yeah, the emblem selection. Right, so we have several in here as well. Some of these are part of the club reward system. Oh, and by the way, there's a free week going on right now, so if you're watching this video and you want to try out this game for yourself, get online and try it out, because it is a really cool game. Now, I was born in August, that means I am a lion, or Leo, I guess. I really wish we could get some more colors though, because this is kind of limited, right? But let's go for blue, because it's a nice regal color. The lion is as well, of course. Now we are, of course, definitely not a Gertrude Fruhauf. We will be called SiC, because why not, right? Now we will enable, of course, all the DLCs. Let's continue on. Now we are also going to get the Imperial Train, the Imperial Command Ship. These were for pre-order bonuses, and we also have the Anno 1602 Memorial. All of these will be in our game. Now, let's have a look. We could go on advanced mode. I don't want to go on normal mode, because that's a bit too easy. We have large world and many islands. Many large islands. It's kind of boring, because today you can just build whatever you want. Now, advanced I think is pretty cool, because it limits the starting capital. The average world and island settings is on, so you have not a really easy time, but there are some really cool islands where you can build a big metropolis. Average minerals, average fertility, half the construction refunds. And I think this makes sense, because if you build a building and then you tear it down again, you're going to lose materials, but you're also going to recover some. Yeah, so I think we're going to go with advanced. This one, especially with all the hard AIs in here, yeah, it's a cool challenge, I guess, and especially the small islands will be challenging, but there's plenty enough to get us worked anyway. Because we have to manage several instances. We have, of course, the old world, which is where we start. Then we have the new world, which is South America. We can go to the Arctic on an expedition. One of the DLCs also allows you to have this massive island, which is absolutely insane once you see the scope of it, and that is part of the Sunken Treasures DLC. So that's already 3 3 or 4 instances that we need to manage. We have the main one, we have the secondary one in South America, then we have the Arctic, and then we have a really big European island on another zone. And of course, on all of those instances, you are not limited to just one island. So you can have 3 or 4 islands or more, depending on how quick you are to secure these. And this is not really what I wanted. I kind of forgot about that, but let's pause the game for a second. So yeah, we have... actually, no, we don't need to pause. But we have many settlements across 4 instances that we need to manage eventually. Now, what I wanted was to start with just the ship. But I guess, well, we've already started, we might as well continue. And this is a pretty decent looking island. Let's have a look. We have the potato fertility, grain, as well as furs. We have 3 clay deposits, 2 iron deposits, 1 coal deposit, 1 limestone deposit, and 4 oil springs. We don't have any rivers. So that is good in that we don't have to spend 20 tons of wood on bridges. And I do want to start my city somewhere that's out of the way and away from the deposit. So this would be a good industrial zone right there. We could have a secondary harbor here. We could have a town over here. We could have, yeah, we have a clay deposit and the oil. Okay, so this is another industrial district. We have an iron deposit over here. So I guess this would be a nice place to start a town. So let's find a marketplace and we will place it down right about in the center there. Alright, now of course we cannot actually provide this marketplace with goods until it is connected up to the harbor, so we will drag this road all the way out here, and that is that. Alright, of course, then we need some farmers to come and live in our settlements. Now, I think this will be a nice place because from here, the citizens will have a nice view over a secondary harbor over in this area. That could be quite interesting to look at. Anyway, we need to make a road for all of these houses. There we go. And now, slowly but surely, citizens are moving in. But one of the other things we need, of course, is we need a steady supply of timber. Now that we have farmers to work in the timber yards, yeah, we're not going to manage anything with just the 6 timber. So, we need a lumberjack's hut. This requires 5 peasants. And then we have a sawmill, which requires 10. So in total we need 15, and of course I'm going to want multiple of these. Usually about 4 is a good, yeah, a good amount to have. Alright, so now we can put a sawmill right about there, and we will drag a road out into this area, like so. And then what I like to do is I like to expand my roads to move around the production area of these buildings. Right, because, well, it's a good reminder of where we should not build any more buildings, right? So now we know that we should, yeah, we could build a building over here, and we can do it pretty well within that area. I think it's not going to be a problem. Maybe we can even drag this around a little bit. Oh. Alright, there we go. And now we need a second one. Now, of course, one of the goals here is to make this look really good. Yeah, let's make this one a little bit closer to here. Right, now you're looking at the, if you're looking at the timer, this means the 1.5 minute means that it's going to take 1.5 minutes before this facility is up and running and actually providing timber to the sawmill. And that is because there's not enough trees around to make it work immediately. Right, so the sawmill requires another 10 upkeep, and we are going to build that right about there. And for now, 2 of these will do. Alright, so we will drag another road out over here. Oh man, I can't see what my road is doing. Alright, there we go. Later on we can adjust, but for now we have a rough idea of where we need to be. Now, by this time we have enough peasants that they require fish, because this has just unlocked. So, let's build that right alongside the harbor. And of course this is going to need a road connection as well. And of course we have a ship as well, and we should actually start exploring immediately as well. Because we start with timber and steel beams and some weapons as well. Now with these materials we can settle a second island, and we want to have a look at the best ones. We want to find a place that has some of the fertilities that we don't have on this one. So hops would be a very important one. Furs is important as well, but we already have that, so that's not what we're looking for. Hops and grain fertility would be a very nice combination, because that means we can make beer on that single island, and beer is hugely important. Now, one of our first competitors has been found, Tierpied from Carl Leonard von Malching. Alright, so let's have a look. These guys, what do they want? They don't want anything yet. They're still waiting for the fish to come in. And when that happens, more people are going to move in. And yeah, we have 84 right about now. The next tier unlocks at 100, so we might actually need a few more houses. And we have 4 timber. One house costs 2 timber to build. So we can actually build 2 more houses, and we can drag this out later on. Now, another island has been found, and we have found potatoes, hops, and a red pepper. Oh, that's another one that's important to have. Right, so first thing that I want to do is I want to explore around my island a little bit to keep travel time for the trade routes short. After that we can see what else is necessary. Alright, so of course our balance is in the negative right now, because these guys are just getting fish. And fish, it does give us 1 extra coin when they use it. So when they are provided with fish, it does actually increase our balance towards the positive. But we have more production buildings than we have citizens who are using up luxury goods or regular goods that they need. And that is going to be an issue. Anyway, yeah, by now they can get cloves and schnapps. And I think cloves is a good place to start off, because, well, when we look at the houses, we can see they have needs and they have happiness. So happiness is basically a luxury, and schnapps is a luxury, whereas cloves are a need. So it's a bit more important to have that. Right, Eli Bleakworth at Wormways Prison.
Just how is your conscience?
We can move over to this guy and we could buy people from the prison. It's not slavery, I guess, but maybe it is, I don't know. Yeah, these guys come with several bonuses. So we have a handler who provides diplomacy on an expedition. Cargo slowdown minus 20%, etc. We have a lader, loading speed plus 15%. Diplomacy 5 for an expedition.
My life is my
and so on. So, yeah. Anyway, let's have a look. We want to have the work clothes, of course. That's what I said we were going to have to work on. Now, one of the things that we can do, I think the framework knitters, yeah, fits in here quite nicely, actually. So I think we are going to build this right there, and just for the looks of it, I'm going to drag out a dirt road over here for 2 tiles, because we have this entrance over here and it just kind of looks nice. But of course this thing isn't going to work by itself, because it requires wool, and for that we need a sheep farm. And we can build a sheep farm, I don't remember exactly the tile size. I think it was 3 by 3. So we can build this right here, and then we need 3 sheepfolds, and yeah, that fits in perfectly. So we will put 3 of those around here. And now this guy should provide this one with wool after a little while, because of course the sheep don't give off wool immediately. Now the production rate for this is it produces wool every 30 seconds. And the framework knitters also produces clothes every 30 seconds. So one of these will supply exactly one of these. Meanwhile, another island has been discovered. A very small one with grain, fur and grapes. Alright, it's not really big. We can't do much with this in the early game. So I'm just going to ignore that one. This might be an okay one to settle. It's pretty sizable. It has room for a settlement and plenty of farms. But it's a little bit far away. So we might just settle it, but maybe we will find something that's a little bit more enticing for us later on. Alright, meanwhile though, schnapps. And also, I would kind of like to have a small warehouse over in this area. Because everything around here is going to be brought over to the warehouse, and it's going to be overused pretty soon, I feel. Right, so if we put the small warehouse right there, then we can continue our crossroads around it. And we will drag this out like so. Alright, so from here, this would be a nice place to start the schnapps production. Now we do need more farmers, and that is something that we need to fix before we can really produce anything else. So we will drag out a few more houses. And immediately, of course, we are now in the positive, but these new houses, they only have 1 worker at the moment. They will get more goods, and when they do, more people will move in. So this number is going to grow. Now, if we don't have a surplus of farmers, basically the farmer loadout, not loadout, the distribution of the farmers, it is spread equally among all the production buildings. So if we run at a deficit, all of our buildings are going to produce less because they don't have the workers they need. So we could have built the schnapps production immediately, but we need 20 farmers for it, and we need another 50 for the schnapps distillery. So in total we need 70 farmers to actually produce the schnapps that everybody would really like to have. Now, we are going to plan out a few more houses over here. We can't build all of them. We just got some more wood, but we just missed the 2 that we needed to build this final house. That's fine. Right. My mouse is acting up a little bit every once in a while. It's a bit annoying because the left mouse button, it sometimes double clicks when I don't really want it to. Alright, we just got the 2 wood to build this. So that's another... How many houses in a block do we actually have? This is 6 houses. So 12 houses in a block. That's quite a lot. Oh, we have another island over here. We didn't even have a look at this one. Oh, yes, this is it. Grain, hops, and red peppers. We are moving to... And this is another one. Though this one is small, but we are making a move on this island immediately. This is a really good one. And we can have a harbor on the south side. That's really nice. The north side of it is blocked off by the mountains, though. But we have a small secondary harbor on the east. Now this isn't really helpful at the moment, until we maybe get a secondary harbor over here as well. Now we could go from here to here. It would be a bit faster. But for now, we are going to land here because this has good room for expansion of our harbor, our main harbor. And from here they can move to the south side of this island. So it's a pretty short route. And that makes me quite happy. Alright, more people have arrived, and that means they want more things again. For now, we have 50 workers, so we're getting pretty close to what we need, but we don't really need to make the schnapps right away, because we could also provide the people with a pub. And the pub doesn't actually require any goods to work, but it will immediately provide a happiness boost to all of our citizens. So I think that's a really good idea, and I think also we are going to turn it to face this way, because there's the cellar, and the cellar is facing the market. That makes a lot of sense to me. Alright, so let's place that down. We will drag out a small bit of road along the side here. And you can see the red face just went blue because our people went from unsatisfied to content. It's not really great just yet, but once we make the schnapps, this is going to move over into happy territory. Alright, so schnapps. We need a potato farm, of course. We will build that one right there. And then we are going to drag out some fields. We need 72 tiles worth of production area. So that's 68, so we need 4 more. I guess we'll drag those out along the back there. And of course, this produces every 30 seconds, and so does the Schnapps distillery. So we are going to make just one of these, and we're going to build it across the road from the farm. So they only just have to cross the one tile to deliver the potatoes. And we still have 26 farmers left over, and that is quite good. Alright, so by now I think that we have everything we need to actually upgrade to the next tier. They're getting schnapps pretty soon. They have all their basic needs met, but just because we can upgrade doesn't mean it's a good idea. I don't think one of these buildings, for example, is going to build enough to build up a supply, but schnapps, they sell for a pretty good price. In the meantime, though, our ship has arrived.
I am a baron. Land is for me to own.
Aye, he's an asshole. But we have a great first expansion, Chiarodero, and our main island was called Olmesman. Wow. Now, I have this idea in my head that just like XCOM, where we name soldiers after people that I know from Discord or from gaming or real life, things like that, I add them into the game, and I feel that we could rename the towns as well. Now, 2 people I think that would be up for it, because they've been up for having their nickname in all my other previous games that I did this for. And I think we're going to rename this town to one of my oldest gaming friends, Nimster, the village, curious village of Nimster. And then this one is going to be Bastion. I feel bad for letting you guys die so quickly in the Phoenix Point series. So now I know at least that you will definitely not die. You will be around. Alright, meanwhile, George Smith has been encountered. He has settled somewhere in the middle of the map at Notre Fonds. Alright. Now, I see this orange star here on the map, and this is a quest, and we could go for it, but this guy is a medium AI, and he will probably ask us for some advanced stuff. And also I can see this guy has already upgraded to the 2nd tier of villagers, because he has started making bricks. Yeah. I'm not that much in a rush though. I'm fine. Alright, so another island is over here. More potatoes, hops and red fertility. And this one over here has grain, fur and grapes. This is a pretty sizable island as well. That's really nice. Oh, and of course this also has coal, zinc, iron, copper and limestone. Alright, let's move over to the right hand side of the map. Now this is probably the area where the pirate lives, so we do need to be a little bit careful. Meanwhile though, let's have a look. We have iron, coal and copper on our secondary island of Bastion. So if you want your name in this game as a village, just let me know in the comments below, and our next settlement will be named after the first person to comment. Alright, so we are still in the negative, and I feel we need a few more houses, and then we will upgrade some of this later on, once we have a secondary schnapps producer. Alright, so that's another 10, because this is 5, yeah. Alright.
your patronage, if you can afford.
So that's another 50 farmers that we can have, and we will slowly build up the workforce required for a second potato farm. Yeah, alright, so we could also put a distillery over here, I think. But for now, let's make a secondary potato farm. Let's turn this around a bit so it doesn't look exactly like the other one. We do need to break up the pattern a little bit to make it look a bit more interesting. Alright, so this is 68. And we can just drag it over into this, so we can make this nice little block. Or at least it's going to look a bit like a block. Alright, Schnapp's Distillery. Also, I would really like to turn this around a little bit.
I'm delighted to meet you. I'm Bente Jorgensen, chairlady of the Jorgensen Foundation. I can't wait to work with you.
Alright, so we also met Bente, and Bente is an easy AI, so she's not going to be much of a troublemaker. Alright, and I'm also, because we have this little bit of dead space, I'm going to plant some ornaments. Basically some really nice, pretty looking trees with some grass at the bottom, because it does really make a difference for the attractiveness of the city. If we fill up all the dead spaces with little ornaments like this, hopefully... Oh. Yeah. Need to move away from here. We have encountered the pirate haven of Calamity Cove, and of course we got into the range of the harbor cannon towers. And that's no good. This island will chew our ships up in a hurry. Alright, so maybe let's move down from over here. We found another island. Unsettled island. Potatoes, hops, and niter. Alright. So there's plenty more left to discover, but I feel that we have been playing for a little while already. So that means it's probably a good idea. Actually, oh, that's another thing that we need to do. We have a day and night cycle now, and I forgot all about that. So we can set the time of the day, but by default it's paused. So now I have enabled it, and day and night should actually start. As you can see, of course, the timer has begun. That was another thing. There's a statistics option now, but that just got added by the patch in the last, just the last day, basically. And maybe we need a building for it, because I haven't seen a new option for it yet. No doubt it's somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we've been playing for a little while already, like I said, so it's about time to put a cut in here. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this quest for the next video. Anyway, please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more, because I plan to really expand upon this and go to all of the instances where we can build settlements. I definitely want to visit the Arctic. I would like to build a big botanical garden, but the complexity to maintain all of that, it's going to skyrocket at some point. And it's going to be quite interesting. So I hope you are going to follow along as I play through this Sandbox game. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next. Thank you so much for watching.